Hey guys, today we're going to do a standard best of one event, and I came up with a mono red aggro deck in a response to one of my viewers' comments here. I'm just looking to see if there's any updates to mono red, and so I'm really excited to put this deck together and try it out here in a standard event. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. This is a kind of my take on mono red, sort of as a more AoE type deck or area of effect with End the Festivities and Tectonic Hazards. So I think this will be really good against the Boros Convoke decks that are running around. Mono white humans should be really good there, and also just decently good against mono red itself. So if you're new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate you, and if you like my content, please do consider subscribing, maybe dropping a comment or a like, or sharing it with a friend of yours who might like it. And for my returning viewers, thank you so much again for coming back. I really appreciate your support. It does mean the world to me. So let's kind of get into the deck here. I took just the basic mono red aggressive archetype, took a look at some of the new cards. So what I really like is Fugitive Codebreaker. This is a new card here out of Murders of Karlov Manor, which is a 2/1 prowess haste, which means that every time that you cast a non-creature spell, this gets a +1/+1 buff until end of turn. And so this alongside Swift Spear is kind of like incentivizing us to have a lot more spells if possible. And so this is a little bit of a less creature-heavy version of mono red. And this is just a really nice aggressive creature. It can be a 2/1 on turn 2 and get in. And then also it has a disguise ability, so you can play it as a face down for 3 mana and then flip it up for the disguise cost of 1 red and 5 other. And this is reduced by 1 for every instant and sorcery in your graveyard, which hopefully we will have a couple. And then when that happens, this is kind of more in the late game, you can flip it up and then discard your hand. Hopefully you don't really have much of a hand by this point, and then draw 3 cards. So a nice way to kind of refill your hand, get a little bit more gas. This is, I feel like, is a really good time to bring back in Mechanized Warfare. This is something that Mono Red was playing around with a couple months ago, and I think it's really, really poised to make a really big comeback in Standard, since the Boros Convoke deck is so powerful. And so with Mechanized Warfare, that really incentivizes us to find ways of doing damage to everything on the board. So End the Festivities does 1 damage to each opponent and each creature and each planeswalker they control. And so with this and Mechanized Warfare in play, this will do 2 damage, or if you have multiple copies, it'll do more. Then we also have 2 copies of Tectonic Hazard, which basically does the same thing, except it doesn't target their planeswalkers. So just another way to kind of wipe their board. Really good against Gleeful Demolition and kind of all the little 1/1s running around. Other than that, we have a pretty standard mono red deck. We've got Kumano Faces Kakazan, Monastery Swift Spear, 3 copies of Monstrous Rage. The reason we're not going with the full playset is we don't have quite as many creatures, and so I just want to make sure we have good targets for this. 2 copies of Phoenix Chick and 2 copies of Uldaran Epicure. Epicure is a little bit better in this deck due to Mechanized Warfare, so when it does 1 damage to the opponent, that'll be increased by Mechanized Warfare. Also, 2 copies here is to kind of help filter our draws to get rid of some of the extra lands that we don't need. 2 copies of Feldon, just another great aggressive creature on 2. And then we do have a full playset here of Lightning Strike, just go damage to face. 1 copy of Squee, just to give us some additional threats. And then 3 copies of Play with Fire. With the addition of all the End the Festivities and Tectonic Hazards, don't really have enough room for a full playset, but you know, we're going to see how this deck does. I'm pretty excited actually about this. And then 21 land here, 2 Mishra's Foundries, and 2 Soken Zen. So all that said, let's go ahead and hop into a standard event. So I don't know if you guys have had a chance to play in the play-in events here for MKM Sealed, which have been going on today. Best of 3 was today. I had a chance to do 2 attempts, unfortunately did not make it. So I hope you guys were more successful than I was, but it definitely is a really fun format, a lot of fun. So hope it goes well for you guys. Okay, opening hand looks great. We've got access to 3 mana and should be able to get a Mechanized Warfare out. Okay, up against Orzhov or Esper. Control, maybe? So we'll just go ahead and lead out here with a Codebreaker, try to get some quick damage in. Looks like they've got removal ready. Okay, so it looks like maybe we're playing against Esper Midrange. And the End of Festivities is pretty good against Deep Cavern Bat also. So they did go ahead and nab that. Now I think we just want to get Warfare down. Hopefully they don't have Rafine here. And then we could go for Sokenzin. The Sokenzin tokens are not buffed by Mechanized Warfare because they're not artifact sources or red sources of damage. So I think that being said, I'm going to go ahead and do Kumano Faces Kakazan and then Codebreaker. Yeah, we still have a decent hand. I guess we could also Lightning Strike this Deep Cavern Bat. I do kind of want to get it out of the way. So I think maybe actually I will do that. I don't want them gaining life and having it grow. We could also do that on their turn. Don't need to do it now. So I think if I'm going to do that, maybe we'll just lead out with Kumano Faces Kakazan. They're representing Wandering Emperor here. So I think maybe we just Lightning Strike on their turn. Yeah, there's the Wandering Emperor. Now the nice thing is that when we get back and the Festivities, that will also do damage to the Wandering Emperor. Okay, so they chose not to play Virtue, so they either have some sort of counterspell or something. We're getting close to being able to play Codebreaker and getting the extra value here. So I think maybe we just set up for Codebreaker and then do End the Festivities. Let's see, actually, End the Festivities isn't going to kill anything, which kind of sucks. Yeah, maybe we just set up Codebreaker. We could also try to draw into one of our other 5 copies of Damage to Everything here. So Codebreaker currently is going to flip up for 5.
Remember your training.
An extra warfare is pretty great. Unfortunately, on the festivities, still doesn't kill Emperor by itself, but we could use that plus Kumano to try to fight through this 4/4. Okay, so pretty soon we're going to have to start chumping here with some tokens. We could send in the Swift Spear. Hit Wandering Emperor for 3. And then that would make this 2/3. If they do want to block, they'd be taking 4, so we could sort of incentivize them to not be able to block. So I think this is decent.
This isn't going to go how you think.
And they had the extra cut down ready, unfortunately. But at least we've wiped the board. Unfortunately, there's their money card in Rafine.
Keep watch for intruders.
Don't have quite enough mana to do both this and Soken Zen. But we can at least send this at the Wandering Emperor and see if they're willing to block. Okay, and the festivities will take out Wandering Emperor. So it's not a perfect solution, but it's at least it's a good step.
I'm never done for good.
Yeah, unfortunately with this Virtue, it's going to be really hard to climb back into this game. Yeah, Lightning Strike's not quite enough to get there, so unfortunately that's going to do it. But this deck is a lot of fun. It's definitely great against Boros aggro, Boros Convoke. Okay, we'll lead out here with Kumano faces Kakazan. This is pretty much always going to be the one drop you're going to want to start with if you have it in your hand. Just getting that 2/2 out as fast as possible is definitely great. And let's give the extra, yeah, so since they only have Mountain Up, we'll start off with Swift Spears. This will come in as a 2/3. So even if they have Play with Fire, they'll be able to take care of it. And then if they want to kill Phoenix Chick, that's fine. We can try to bring it back. Alright, super happy to drop down Mechanized Warfare. This game is definitely going a little bit better. Yeah, that virtue of loyalty in the last game really took over the game. Cool. All right, so I guess let's go for Codebreaker plus Hazard. If we do Codebreaker plus Hazard, this will make Swift Spear big enough to be able to take out this Diabolist. And then Voldaren Epicure should finish him next turn. Nice to get a win in. Alright, 1-1. But especially if you're running into a lot of like Boros Convoke on ladder, this could be a really fun option to be able to clean up their tokens. Opening hand looks great. Yeah, and so far I've really liked Codebreaker. It just gives us a little bit more ability to refill in the late game. Let's see. I think we want to go in with Feldon. If they have like Elspeth's Smite, it'd be good to get the card draw in. If they have Get Lost, it's unfortunate. Yeah. But you can't play around everything. And let's get in with Codebreaker. So I think we're going to wait for blockers. Whatever they don't kill will Monstrous Rage. Sure. They could have the cut down there, but it's asking a lot for them to have all that removal. Certainly they could. But I think it's a decent calculated risk. Okay, nice draw off the top. And that looks like a pretty good thing we can draw into. So with Mardu, they're probably looking for Angel. But Angel's not going to be able to kill Swift Spear this turn. Okay, so I think the play here, we definitely want to kill Angel. I guess we'll give them the option to block if they want to do that. But I think let's try to put an extra counter here on Swift Spear. And Warfare looks great. Okay, if they're not going to block, we will kill Seraph for the extra point of damage. Yeah, there's Archangel of Wrath, as expected. So here, if we Warfare, it's functionally the same thing as double hazarding. By playing Warfare, this becomes a 5/6 that'll do 6 points. It's a forced block. And I think, yeah, we'd rather do Warfare and spend fewer cards. Now Double Angel feels really good. Double Hazard here feels really good. So this will do 4 damage. This will pump this up. Yeah, and that should be game. So, yeah, we don't want a Codebreaker. We just want a Double Hazard here. And that'll do it. Okay, 2-1. But yeah, this deck is a lot of fun to play. It feels great when you can just sort of wipe the board. Opening hand looks just fine. Looks like opponent is down a card. Probably looking for a second land or something like that. Okay, that's a nice pickup with the Mechanized Warfare. We can set up for a nice 4 damage to everything. So I think let's try to wait for Warfare before killing this adversary. And with that in mind, we can probably hold on to the Play with Fire as well. So maybe this turn we just go ahead and get Foundry down. And Monstrous Rage or Phoenix Chick. I guess the only thing is if they have Squee, it is kind of nice. We don't really we might not have time to get Warfare going. So actually, I think on second thought, maybe just leave Play with Fire up. But now we can take a little bit of damage here and then just set up for a nice 2-for-1 with Warfare plus Festivities, or we could just do this next turn if we really want to. Or I guess that we could also just Play with Fire one of these and just sort of preserve our life total a little bit. I guess we drop to 12. Yeah, actually I think I'm going to Play with Fire one of them. Just to preserve the life total, even though it's not quite as good value. This just gives us a little bit more breathing room. Okay, Swift Spear is pretty nice. We could just double, we could Festivities plus Hazard to wipe their creatures. We are at 9, so that will do 4. This will be 7. That'll drop them down to 5. Could also Swift Spear. Swift Spear is really not quite as good, though. If we Warfare, being at 9 is a little bit sketchy. Especially if they have like Lightning Strike in hand. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and just double spell here, just to ensure this thing dies. But let's attack first. Yeah, I think just preserving the life total is just a little too important. Because depending on like the cards they had in hand, they could have just done 9 real quick with like Lightning Strike into like Godric or something. But this feels really good. Like if we draw a land, we can go like Swift Spear plus Activate if they decide to kill our Phoenix Chick, or just Warfare. Yeah, and they had the Lightning Strike, so I'm glad we decided to go with that line of play. Okay, this feels really good. Gonna need 2 blockers. Alright, we'll force him to have it. So another Lightning Strike, maybe? Yeah. We could have waited there. Like, we could have waited for them to have this shrink back down. But I think it's fine to trade. Here we're holding in case we draw like Epicure. Although I suppose if we draw Epicure, they just die. Okay, this is definitely going to be a game. Got there. Whew, close one. Three and one. And I think this would be a great deck for just ranking up on ladder. The one I'm still using for high mythic, like top 250 or top 1200-ish, is still going to be Boros Convoke. So I will probably do some more videos with that. But this is definitely a fun deck. This hand looks great. And it's a nice little spin on mono red that's a little bit different, kind of in reaction to what the meta's doing. And you can kind of play with the numbers of the AoE cards with 4 in the festivities and 2 tectonic, whatever it's called. You could go up to like a full 8 if you need to, but I think 6 feels right. You should probably see at least one a game, hopefully. They could have Elspeth's Smite here. Makes me a little bit nervous about using Rage. So I think I'm just going to go Feldon here. Okay, well now we're kind of just getting the best of it in, so... We've definitely got them on the back foot. They're going to need temporary lockdown this turn, or that should be it. And of course, they've always got it. Wouldn't be a game if they didn't. It's a nice one. Yeah, I think even though we could try to refill here, I think we just want to go for the quick damage. We have a lot of cards that just kill them right off the top if they can't deal with it. So, expecting Wandering Emperor here, but we gotta force him to have it. work too. It definitely does feel really good to be mono red in this type of situation instead of something like mono white, which doesn't have like damage to face. But yeah, clay fired bricks is pretty good. Alright, we gotta play around No More Lies. So yeah, this is just lethal if they don't have anything. We could try to, I guess, set up for, but I think we just go for it, honestly. This plays around No More Lies, which is a very real card they could have. Yeah, and that was enough. Close game, though. Feels like they were about to turn the corner. Alright, 4-1. Opening hand looks great. Yeah, and I really like Fugitive Codebreaker. It feels really good, honestly. Even though I've never used it for the late game like refill, like the threat is real. And the prowess is so good. Man, this is going to be such a filthy turn. Like, Lightning Strike into Monstrous Rage just feels kind of wrong. Actually, you know, we could even just go double Monstrous Rage, play with fire on their Kumano, or just face. I think that since they're tapped out, I don't even care about the 3 damage they've got coming at us. This is like so much damage, it's ridiculous. Actually, is this just lethal? Yeah, this is just lethal. Never mind. I guess we just kill them instead. Good old Xaxes on turn 3. Oof. Yeah, prowess is really good. 5-1. I think that was, yeah, it was a turn 3 kill. But yeah, even if you just need to grind like dailies or whatever, like this is a nice quick deck that should be pretty good against a decent number of decks. And it does feel good to be playing mono red again. Alright, opening hand looks great. In this situation, you definitely lead out with Swift Spear over Phoenix Chick. Kind of order of operations is typically Kumano faces Kakazan, and then Swift Spear, and then Phoenix Chick. And then Epicure last. think we hold the play with fire here. I mean, we've got ways of just killing this, so I'm not worried about doing it right now. These should be really good against humans. Oh, are we up against... oh, we're up against Boros Convoke. Should be exciting. They even have the demolition. But it looks like they don't have... I guess we could have played with Fire the Veteran in response. Yeah, it's okay. I think we're just going to Tectonic Hazard it. It's fine. So they don't have Knight Errant, otherwise they wouldn't have attacked. Good to know. Which means they probably have like Imidane's Recruiter or something like that. So I don't think we want to wait a turn. I think we just pop off 4 of their guys right now so their Recruiter doesn't do much. And then we can... It's not quite as pretty of a turn, but it works. Because like we could just lose the Recruiter if we don't do something. So I think we just hazard this turn. Okay, if they're going to War Leader's Call, I think I do just kill that Inspector in response. This kind of cleans up our next turn. So now if they want to trade with Phoenix Chick, I'm totally fine with that. Reinforcements, okay. So I guess they do a full clear here. Oh, never mind. Not quite a full clear. Okay, that was a nice pickup because now we can keep pushing. As you can see, this deck is like really, really good. So even with all these board clears, it's still really nasty. So we're pushing 5. They push back for 5. If we drop another Warfare, then it can just trade. So I think we can't Warfare this turn. Like, we could still easily lose this game, though. Like, this deck is so nasty, especially with War Leader's Call. Yep, and I think we just lost. Oof. Close one. Yeah, it was fun. Even though we didn't quite get there. Alright, 5 and 2. See if we can go a little farther. Yeah, opening hand looks great. Let's get Feldon going. And then depending on if they tap out, we can Rage or Warfare. Hopefully Warfare next turn. Okay, that was pretty cool. Get some free cards. Do we want extra land? I don't think so. We just want festivities here. Actually, wait, can we use festivities next turn? Not really. So I guess we just go for the land. And I think we just want to get Warfare going. Like, we could go Swift Spear plus some other stuff, but let's just get Warfare on the table. Okay, so if we go Swift Spear plus Kumano plus Lightning Strike, that feels pretty good. We could also get Rage going. Maybe hold the Lightning Strike and just go Swift Spear plus Kumano. Let's see, we're at 11. Is there any chance that we just die next turn? So they have 2, 3, so that's 5, 6. If they have Rage, it's 10. It's pretty close, actually. Maybe we hold back with Swift Spear here. Let's see, how much are we pushing? We're pushing, this will be a 5-4, 6-5, so I'll do 7, 9, or 7, yeah, 9, 11. I think we need to hold strike up. And I think we push with rage. On Epic here. So I think we can push with Swift Spear. I guess we could also just Lightning Strike their Feldon for the extra damage, but I think maybe holding it is good. Ugh, I'm not sure. Like, I don't want to give them more cards, but I think they're so close. Let's see, we're hitting them for 5. Yeah, I think with Mechanized Warfare, it's worth it to take out their Feldon. We do give them some card selection here, but we are pushing quite a bit of damage. We could have done it on Swift Spear, but I mean, yeah, I think just we have enough coming in that hopefully we can just race them here, even with their card selection. Yeah, even if they have like Rage plus Lightning Strike, is that enough? It's close. Okay, and that's enough. Exact. Whew, close one. All right, 6 and 2. Final boss.
This is where we hold them. This is where we fight. This is where they die. And these shield boys. Remember this day, man. Or it will be yours for all time.
Can we get there to 7 wins? Yeah, opening hand looks great. All right, another chance here against Boros Convoke. So question is, do we want to go for Codebreaker? I think we just want to go for Feldon here. Like, there's a potential we could do this later. Ah, they had the knight, unfortunately. That does suck. Oof, and they have Imidanes also. Okay, this is gonna be tough. Question is, can we get them to block? Probably don't block Swift Spear. Although if we go Codebreaker, I think, so we shove, and then if they decide to block, like we've got the play with fire, we could take out everything except Knight Errant. So I think, yeah, we shove and see what they do. Okay, they do decide to block. So now I guess we just leave them with Warden. And they're still going to hit us for a decent amount here, but it's not nearly as scary as it would have been. Okay, we need another board wipe stat. Oh god, they've got another Knight Errant. Oh jeez. Yeah, this deck is just ridiculous. It's so good. We need like Mechanized Warfare plus board wipe. Because now we're only pushing 3, 6, 8. Can they swing for a lethal next turn? Let's see. So if we go Imidanes, they have Imidanes plus Guy, potentially. So that's functionally 3, 6, 11, 13, 15, 17. Yeah, we're super dead. Okay, so I think it's Codebreaker for sure. Can we survive blocking one guy? So it's going to be 3 if they have the land, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 17, 20. So if they don't have the land, we take 17 and go to 1 if we attack with both of these. Jeez. I think we only attack with Feldon because we assume they have the land. They might not, though. Like, if they don't have the land... God. So we hit them for 5. We hit them for... We hit them for 8 here. This could, like, literally be the difference between winning and losing. I think we go for it. It's crazy, I know, but... they don't have the land, like, we can stabilize at 1. Oh my god, they don't have the land. This gives us like a 1-outer, so like, or actually we can draw into Lightning Strike. We've got 4 Lightning Strikes. Technically we have 5 tries with blood. Hazard. Hazard doesn't do it. Okay, so let's go looking. Soakin's in also doesn't do it. Can we buy ourselves another turn though? I think we send in Feldon and see what Feldon finds. Lightning Strike off the top. We did it! Woo! Gotta play to your outs. You gotta play to your outs. Oh man, that... Fuck yeah. That's awesome. Whew! 7-2. Got there. Final boss down. Feels great. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Yeah, we ended up going 7-2 with this deck, so really happy. Let's take a look. I might have done a couple games. I'm just curious to see what the stats are on this thing. Yeah, so it's just 7-2 so far, 78% win rate. Really happy with this deck so far. So check it out. If you need to craft a couple cards, I definitely recommend crafting the new Fugitive Codebreaker. Highly recommend it. And then other than that, should be all kind of older stuff that you've got access to, hopefully. So Mechanized Warfare, definitely think it's going to be good right now in Standard. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and remember, you guys are awesome.